Hey, before we start this video, I apologize. Some of the audio from the computer sounds a little jittery. So when you hear the music sounding jittery, that's a problem with my recording software, not Audacity itself. So I hope you find this useful. Hey everyone, let's say you want to lay down a track behind your podcast or behind a movie, but you don't want to get the words. You just want like a part of the introduction that loops over and over again. Today, I'm going to show you how to do it. Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about how you can loop a track, how you can take a 5 to 10 second piece of a song and loop it over and over again so that it creates a background layer of music. You can use this to mix different tracks together. You can do this so you have a continuous loop that goes behind a podcast of yours, whatever you might need a background music for. So let's take a look at how we do this using the program Audacity. So I downloaded this song by the Eaters called Mbongo. Let's take a couple second listen. Okay, and I think this is where I want it to start. So it looks like right around that 30-second mark is where the drums start and the bass starts, and that's kind of where I want that loop to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just zooming in on that section right there. So we're starting like this part right here. And I thought it started right around here at the 30 seconds. So I'm going to start the playing right now. And you can see where the music really starts because that waveform gets bigger. So I'm going to put on the select tool and select everything before that, maybe a little bit past, and I'm going to delete it. And now what I need to do is find where the end of the track is, or the end of that loop that I want to cycle over and over is. Let's check that out. So it was right there. So now what I'm going to do is we take this, it was right around this 11-second spot, and I select everything else. And now I'm going to hit delete. So now if I take a look at my project, I've got about 11 seconds of audio. Let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Now you can tell, I hope, that if we loop that, that's not going to sound very good. In fact, we can listen to what that would sound like by coming up here to Transport and loop play. Now you heard that really abrupt beginning and ending to that, and it didn't really sound like it was a loop. It didn't sound like it was one continuous piece of music. So what I'm going to do, I need to trim off a little bit at the end and a little bit at the beginning. So let's take a look at how we're going to do that. Well, I'm going to start by zooming into the beginning. So I'm going to zoom in just to this first part. And you'll notice, like if I just select this amount of music here and I hit, I've got that little space before the music actually starts. So I need to go back. And one of the things I need to do, you can tell where the waveform starts. This is where the music actually kind of starts, and it actually starts right here. So what I'm going to do is zoom in on just this little piece here right before the drum starts, and right where that track crosses the center line. If you remember on a waveform, that center line is silence, and looks like it starts right there, and I'm going to delete everything before that. So now it should just start right on that drum beat. Yep. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom back out to the project, and I need to take a look at the very end. So I need to zoom in on the end of this project. So let's take the last couple of seconds here and zoom in. So I think I need it to trim off. I need it to trim off right here, I think. I think this is where the new drum beat picks up. So I'm going to start zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. Again, remember, we're looking for that spot where it crosses the middle line. And I think I want to cut it here. So I'm going to I select it all. Might be easier if I zoom out a bit, quite a bit, and hit shift. Nope. Shift and select. Yeah. And now I can just hit delete. And now if I did this right, we should have a track that just loops continuously. Let's hear what this sounds like. Remember, you go up to transport and loop play. Wasn't quite right. Darn it. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to undo. And I need to go back and zoom back into this section here. So I think I cut it just a little too soon that time. Maybe I need to cut here. Yeah, I bet you that's where I need to cut. So looks like it crosses silence here. You can tell, I think that's that first drum beat right there. And again, I'll select this all, and I'm just going to delete it. There is a little bit of trial and error in this as you go. But with some patience, you should be able to figure it out. Let's see how we did. That sounds nice. Notice how at the beginning and the end of the track, it just loops from one section to the next. So what can you do with this loop? There's a couple of different things. You could use it for a background to a podcast, for a movie. Let's take a look at how we might do that for a podcast. So I'm going to hit Control A to select it all, and I'm going to copy. And now I'm going to go to the end of that track, and I'm just going to start pasting it over and over and over again. So now I've got about a minute worth of loop here going on. And then I could record my podcast over that. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to talk about Audacity and all the amazing things that it can do for you. So stick around. So see, now I can put my podcast over it. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to talk about Audacity and all the amazing things that it can do for you. So stick around. I hope you found that tutorial helpful or useful or whatever. If you did, please consider hitting like and subscribe. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff at Mr. J. Corwin. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.